What's going on, everybody? Zephyr 2 Valve here, today with another video after what seems like forever, which it has been forever. The last video, as of right now, that I did make was the video on installing the supercharger on this Mustang. Now, I kind of meant to do a follow-up video way sooner than I originally did, but I kind of forgot and just didn't do it. But I'm doing it now. So I've had a couple requests on doing the follow-up video to see what the car made as far as horsepower wise, how reliable it's been, have I had any issues with it, what are my plans for the future with it, and just kind of overall, just to give you an overall review of the vortech V3 SI tuner trim. I say tuner trim because this is the kit that's not intercooled. It's just straight from the supercharger straight to the throttle body. Now, I know they do sell a kit of the water to air. This kit is nothing like that. It's just straight to the throttle body. Now, I know they do make aftermarket intercooler kits for this car. I will go further into later on in this video as far as plans for this car too. I'll kind of go more in depth what I want to do, how I want to do it. But right now, basically, it's just kind of going to be a POV drive of, you know, the car itself. I don't know if I'm going to put this before my explanation. I don't know if I'm going to put it after my explanation. If I am, either way, it's going to be where it's going to go. Forgive me, it's been a little bit since I've decided to film a video. I'm a little bit rusty. So if I kind of mumble a little bit, kind of rant on, just bear with me. When the windows are up, you can really hear the supercharger. It's insane. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go take this thing to the car wash. That's, yeah, I've decided. I'm gonna do that. All right, we are actually on the road now instead of waiting at a light forever. So we are on our way. I'm actually gonna stop at Dutch Bros because I kind of really want to drink right now. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go to Dutch Bros. They're like literally right up the road, so not even really gonna add any time. Just another stop to the stops. All right, boys, secured that. Got my Dutch. I had to give myself a little sweet treat. And then we're gonna go to the car wash. The closest ones are like 15 minutes away though, which sucks. Like the closest self-serve. That's the one bad thing about Queen Creek, is that everything's so dang far. Turn that off for horsepower. Turn that so I don't spill it, because I'm pushing so much horsepower. There you go. Such a bad exhaust leak. Let's roll these windows up, turn the AC on, and we're cruising. Alright. Well, 4xe. Alright, we just pulled up to the car wash. Everybody is actually here for some reason. Usually it's pretty darn dead. I'm at Kelly's car wash, so it's actually not that dead all the time. It's just usually when I come. But I'm just waiting for a spot to open, and I will wash my car and I'll keep this video going. I guess I shouldn't say this is a 326 wing, it's a rep 326 wing. I ain't dropped. What the heck? Come on. I shouldn't have done the final wax. I shouldn't have done it. Alright, I'll get back to you when I guess I get this thing clean. This is gonna take a little bit. Alright boys, we're back on the road. Honestly, I think, yeah, probably my worst experience at that car wash. I usually have really good experiences, but the water pressure sucked, the dry air pressure sucked, and I don't know, it just didn't really do a good job. I feel like my car left dirtier than when it arrived, but I don't know, I can finish it up. I just really needed to get all the dirt and grime off because I haven't washed in about 2 weeks, so it's really just to get it off, and I can really detail it up when I get home. But yeah, that was just that sucked. I usually have really good experiences there. Yeah, guys, I mean, as far as the supercharger goes, I mean, I'm literally just cruising. Air temps look good. I mean, like I said, it's nearing end of summer, beginning of fall here in Arizona, so the air temps are around 82. My coolant temps are around 170. I do need to probably get a new alternator. I'm sitting a little low, a little tiny bit low on voltage at 113.3, which is good because it's above 12, but I want it a little higher, maybe around the 13.8 to closer to 14. But you know, I mean, it's not throwing a battery light, and my battery still charges, so what more could I ask for without having to spend any money? But yeah, I mean, everything's great. I mean, I got the AC running. You can hear the supercharger whistling. You know, the car feels awesome. I mean, it drives like stock because, you know, it's not like a turbo where it pulls you into boost, and, you know, the top mount superchargers are instant power there. You know, this has kind of a mix of the two from what I've heard and what I've read and what I've experienced. You know, turboing is really cool. I just know that probably this car with its 160,000 miles probably wouldn't have lived for very, very long. And the same thing with a top mount supercharger. Those things are, like, don't get me wrong, I love them. I love the whine. I love everything about them. The sound, how they look in the car, you know, like a Kenny Bell, you know, the Eden supercharger on the Cobra. They just look beautiful, absolutely amazing. But like I said, I got 160,000 miles on a pretty old motor. You know, it's an 03, so it's, you know, not the newest motor, but I'm not gonna say it doesn't have kick. You know, it does. It's got it when I need it. Whoa. I was just here. What the, oh, frick, somebody got into a wreck. You know, I love this car even more than the supercharged. It's waking up the car, awoken the car, you know, however terminology you want to put it. It makes the car sound even better. I've only heard it a couple times from the outside, but the whistle is just intoxicating. I cannot wait, because I'm going to talk about this later in the video, just because I don't want to really not spoil anything, but it's my plans. I want to talk about it more later in the video. I can hint at stuff, but, you know, I can't wait to make this car sound, not the car, but the supercharger system sound louder, if you know what I mean. I'll go more into that later in this video, but I love it. I really honestly do love how the supercharger is. You know, I could have because I bought this kit brand new. I will go over pricing and everything later. I'm just going over how I did the supercharger kit. It was honestly, I'll be real, it's kind of not an impulse, because I was on the edge between coyote swapping it and supercharging it. Now the thing is that with the coyote swap, I could be making same or more power on an NA motor, but it's the fact that, you know, I gotta get a motor, I gotta get the ECU system, I gotta custom all the wire. Now I know they do make kits, but, you know, there is still some electrical work that has to be done. So, you know, I gotta get the right K member, you know, I gotta get a lot of extra parts, whereas the supercharger kit, it just slaps onto my motor. So that's really the reason I went with this right now, just because, I mean, who doesn't like a bagged and boosted car, you know? But no, man, like I said, I know I kind of trailed off on that, but the supercharger kit, it just makes the car feel better than stock. It's kind of like an OEM plus until you open the hood. Because you get a little bit more power, you get a little more sounds out the motor, and you just have more fun in the car. I feel like I've had so much more fun in this car than after boosting it, because don't get me wrong, I loved my NA. Yeah, I loved how it was. I had no problems with anything on the car. You know, it's just the car was NA. You know, it was a 230 to 260 from what I've heard and what I've seen, horsepower Mustang. And with this being the higher mileage, I wouldn't be surprised if this was anywhere from 230 to 240, which, you know, in this video I'm gonna state how much horsepower I now make with this car when it got tuned, and how I've liked it. You know, have I had any issues with it? So, you know, I love this car, you know. I mean, this thing ain't no slouch. I've had fun. Alrighty guys, the question everybody has been asking, how much power did the car make? I got it dyno tuned last year in the middle of May. 100-degree plus shop. I did ask him to put it on a safe tune. You know, I don't want to go too crazy. I want to have fun, but I don't want to blow the motor. Like I said, it gets really hot here in Arizona, and I am non-intercooled, so kind of want to play safe. On a safe tune, the car made, I'm gonna throw it up on the screen right now, 350 horsepower and 334 torque. And if you look at the dyno, it's actually pretty darn smooth. No real issues that I'm seeing in my professional eye. No real issues. The graph is very smooth. Now, like I said, this was tuned in a 100-degree shop. You know, I wasn't trying to go crazy horsepower numbers. I just want to have some fun with the car, and I'm happy with 350. And like I said, these cars kind of make 260 to, you know, around 260 is what Google says, but I was probably around 240, you know, 230, just because it's a 160,000 mile motor. You know, just trying to have some fun with it. I'll take the more or less 100 horsepower gain, depending on if I would have gotten a dyno first. I really should have gotten a dyno first to have a before and after. But, you know, I'll take 100 horsepower. And like I said, I am non-intercooled, so I'm kind of limited to what I can do. All I did, as far as the car itself, literally stock motor. I haven't touched anything inside, no pistons, rods, crank, no nothing. It is all from 2003 as far as I know. 160,000 miles, car runs great, safe tune, you know, I can have some fun. With that being said, my kit, as far as what I bought, I had the supercharger kit, obviously. You guys saw me install that. I had the injectors. I'm pretty sure I have 39-pound injectors. 39 is what I want to say. And a 340 liter per hour pump. Now that I answered that question, how much should I pay? I'm going to go kind of rough estimate just because I'm not 100% sure. It was a while ago. Alright guys, sorry about that. My camera battery died. But I did in fact pull up the kit cost, and for the entire kit that I had, I spent $4,700. Like I said, I got that on a Black Friday deal. I think the supercharger itself was like $3,600. Let me actually bring up the order. I can do that. The supercharger was $36. Yeah, I bought 39-pound injectors. Those are about $4.99, which that's really the cost of really any higher pound injector. And then the 340 liter power pump, like I said, was $100. So that whole kit, just to put everything on the car that I did, $4,700, which actually is not too bad for a brand new kit. Because I think now just the kit, even on sale, like $4,600. So you be the judge of that. But yeah, just to slap everything on the car, if you wanted to, that's how much I spent, was $4,700. It'd probably be a little higher right now just because of prices of things. That's how much I spent on my kit. One thing I didn't actually add up either was a tuner, because I got that, I think, on a loyalty points, and it was cheaper for me. I got that through LMR. I bought the SCT X4. That's what I bought. I didn't buy the Bama one. $399. Yeah, I got that for way cheaper. I got it on sale. And that's really all I did to supercharge this car. Like I said, I don't have a built motor. I don't have a built transmission. I literally just took the reason I got the V3 was because it is self-contained. I didn't have to tap into my oil pan, none of that. So self-contained unit, I could take it off the car whenever I want, really. Not saying I'm gonna, but I can. And then slap the injectors in, put the pump in. I'm making 350. So now the only other question is, what are my plans with the car? Am I gonna keep it supercharged like this? Am I gonna return it to stock? Am I gonna swap something else into it? Right now, I'm keeping the supercharger. I'm gonna keep it on, gonna have fun with it. Like I said, right now it is non-intercooled, but I do have something for that right to the left of me. I'll bring it out in just a second. Alrighty, in this box, as you can read, I have an air-to-air intercooler. I have the CX Racing kit. Let me explain. Let me get into it. But we do have an intercooler kit for the Mustang. This little beefy boy right here. So I did end up I am going to add an intercooler to this car because it'll run better. I can push a little bit more boost and a little more horsepower. And it'll run cooler. I don't know if I already said that, but that's really why I decided I wanted to go with this kit. Honestly, because I really also don't make kits for this car. This is the closest one. I also got this on sale. I don't know exactly how much. I'll have to bring that up later when I get more into the intercooler video, because I'm gonna make a specific video because I have looked everywhere. Forums, YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, about people adding an intercooler to this kit, and nobody really gives you, honestly, a straight answer. I'm not gonna lie. So with this, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best to make more of a how to add an intercooler kit to the system. I know kind of people go off and kind of figure it out themselves. I'm just going to show what I'm going to do because, like I said, I didn't really see any videos on it. And that's really why I was hesitant on putting an intercooler on it for so long, because I didn't want to mess it up. But now after knowing more, you know, understanding it more and what it needs, I can really kind of be more confident when I'm adding it. Now that being said, the kit that I bought is not correct, technically. Where the mount is for the blow-off valve is not correct because it is mounted before the throttle body. I think it should be right before the intercooler. That's how I think it should be, just because it'll release any pressure before the intercooler. That's not already cooled. I'm gonna put a blow-off valve right before the intercooler, and then I'm gonna take out mass airflow sensor location where it is right now in the vortech, because right now it is stuck in the fender. No, I'm going to take out the mass airflow sensor there. I'm gonna get a new one just because then I'll be able to push a little bit more power because it will read better. Because right now I am limited to my RPM around, I think, 5,500 RPM because I'm running the stock mass airflow sensor. That's kind of limiting me right now as far as RPM limiter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to relocate it to right there or there. Somebody correct me if it matters or not. Because I see a lot of people put them right here, where the blow-off valve location would be on the CX Racing kit to just kind of make it look a little better. Or I see people putting them right here, which is before the throttle body. I see a lot of other kits, like the ProCharger kit, it's kind of right before the throttle body, so I kind of might follow suit with that one. Yeah, so that's kind of my plan. I'm going to intercool this kit. I'm going to do my best to document everything I do to the best of my ability. Like I said, there is going to be some fab work, and it's not going to be immediate. It is going to definitely take a little while. One, because I am actually engaged now, so I have to save up money for a wedding, and you know, it's not really the priority right now. Just because I do have the stuff, it's not really my biggest priority. It's kind of more of like a, if it's there, it's there. But no, eventually this car will be intercooled. I'm gonna do my best, like I said, to document everything I can. Like I said, I don't know when that video is gonna come out. I don't know when that's gonna happen. There's a lot more stuff I do need to do. There's a couple things I want to add just because it'll make it run better. And then get some more stuff. But like I said, it's not going to be anytime soon. It's just a matter of really when. Problems I have had with the supercharger kit. Really, I'm going to be honest, not really many. None that I have caused myself. When I first got the supercharger kit on, I got it tuned. And then like a week later, I had a really bad fuel leak. I had a really bad fuel leak where the injector was mating to the fuel rail. But that is because I have the crappy Dorman intake. Don't ask me why I have a crappy Dorman intake and I'm supercharged. I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. I do plan on getting a better intake in the future. Alrighty, so I do actually still have the bolt, surprisingly, after a while of having fixed this fuel leak. But right here, I don't know if you've taken this bolt off before, but it basically bolts into the intake, and then this little part right here is what basically, it's a ground more or less, and it sticks right up on there. Yeah, so with this bolt being the way it is, I ended up actually stripping the plastic in the intake. And that was really, I'm pretty sure the main cause of my issue was that I stripped the plastic in the intake. You can see just to get it going, I added some tape to kind of widen the threads. That was stupid, I really shouldn't have done that, but just to get the car going, I was trying to do what I could to keep it seated. Because it would do it sometimes, and then it wouldn't do it other times. So like I could drive it for almost a week and it wouldn't do it. And then I'd get in one time and I'd just smell the fuel and I'd see the leak. Yeah, and that's really the only issue I've had. The most recent issue is that I'm pretty sure my fuel pump locked up. But that was, I'm pretty sure because it's a gas tank from 03. When I pulled the fuel sock out, it was dirty. I'm pretty sure I have a video, I can throw it up now. All right, I'm gonna send this to you. Probably won't see it till a little while later, but I pulled the whole fuel assembly out. I found this. All that black stuff is grime and dirt and stuff that was in the fuel tank, which is good that it's filtering out. But then I hooked this up to a 12-volt source and it spun. So, but that thing was dirty. I'm pretty sure that was just clogging it, putting too much strain on the fuel pump, and then every time I try to start the car, it would constantly blow the fuel pump fuse. Even after adding a new one, it would just constantly blow it. So I'm like, you know, I did my research. I made sure it wasn't the relay control module. I made sure it wasn't the fuel pump driver module. You know, I tested my leads and still getting power. It was only breaking the fuse whenever the fuel pump was plugged in. I literally pulled the plug to the fuel pump, and the second I did that, the fuse wasn't popping. I was like, okay, it's either the assembly or the fuel pump itself. Dropped the tank, pulled the pump out. I don't know what I did, but I got it unstuck. I guess putting power to it gets it unstuck, and it works now. I do have a backup fuel pump just in case. So that's really the only issues I've really had. Like I said, the only issues that I've only had are issues that I've caused, or just, it's been a year. You know, if you want an honest opinion, I do think supercharging it is, for this car, the best thing. There's really nothing else that I can really think about in this video to kind of go over. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, if I missed any topics you wanted me to speak on, leave it in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. Finally getting this video out, guys. You are welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm hoping to get started posting here more, just because I've been kind of slacking. I really should. But, you know, I want to just have fun with it. So that's been this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you later.